Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. I'm Kristi Shive, and this morning we're visiting with Annhall Norris. She's the Food Preservation Extension Specialist for the University of Kentucky. Good morning, Annhall.
Good morning, Kristi.
Well, food drying has been a method of preserving food for many years, and it's still a great option today.
That's correct. We have been drying food for thousands of years using the sun and the wind, and you can still do that. Drying outdoors is fine. It's difficult in Kentucky because of the humidity, but we have more efficient ways of doing that today using electric dehydrators, and it's very simple.
Now, you are going to kind of walk us through how someone can start dehydrating foods if they haven't purchased the supplies yet.
Right. So when you purchase a dehydrator, when you're looking for one, you want to make sure it has a heating element. You want to be able to control that temperature because some foods dry better at 130 degrees and some foods dry better at 150. So look for one with a heating element, and then look for one with a fan. So you can have air circulating either up the dehydrator or across the dehydrator. So you'll have choices of a vertical dehydrator or a horizontal one, and that just means the position of the fan. Both have their pros and cons. I prefer the vertical type with the covered fan on the bottom. You can always add more trays and stack them so that you can dehydrate quite a bit of food at one time.
Now, purchasing a dehydrator might feel like a costly item, but it truly is an investment if someone is planning to use it quite often.
That's right, and you can usually find them at a big box store or online. The smaller home type versions are about $79, but they can go upwards to $300 or $400. And it is nice. You're able to control what's in your food. You don't have to dry with salt or sugar, and there's no preservatives. So it really is a nice alternative.
Now, let's talk about the pre-treating step for dehydrating our foods.
That is very important. I'm glad you mentioned that. When you're drying fruits and vegetables, you want to pre-treat them so that they don't turn brown. There's nothing wrong with them turning brown. They just don't look as appetizing. And so you can pre-treat with an acid dip, say maybe lemon juice or ascorbic acid. You can even use fruit juice as your acid dip. When you're pre-treating vegetables, you want to either steam blanch them or water blanch them, and that keeps them from turning brown.
Now, what is the best way to store dried foods?
Yes, so once they're dry, you want to make sure you store them properly so that they don't collect any moisture over their storage time, because that will decrease their storage time. So you want to use freezer bags, thick plastic bags, or tight-fitting plastic containers, thick plastic containers with tight-fitting lids. And then a vacuum sealer is an excellent way to store your dried foods. You can even use canning jars, glass canning jars with a two-piece lid. They keep the air out.
Well, Annhall, I have got to experience firsthand some delicious items from a dehydrating class that you've taught. And
Oh, great.
yes, I love the apple chips, love dried fruit, homemade roll-ups, and I think it's such a great option. Now, if someone has more questions about drying foods, do we have resources?
We do. Each extension office has access to our drying foods publication, and they can print that off for you. It'll have step-by-step instructions as well as how to store it properly.
All right, Annhall. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or want to know more on drying foods, please contact your local extension office. Thanks, Annhall, for being with us today. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have a great day.